So here we are, Friday the 13th. Biden still president, and the only significance today has for Pillow Man Mike Lindell is good old-fashioned Friday the 13th bad luck. But as with all good cults, expect the goalposts to shift fast. Expect one missed deadline from a false conspiracy to just bleed into another, because a significant chunk of the American public has collectively lost its mind. And the blame lies squarely with the big lies perpetrated by a coalition of authoritarians, white supremacists, and yes, attention-seeking grifters and con men. History will record that in America, in 2021, the fascists did not come wearing jackboots. They came selling pillows and online furniture. Joining me now is someone who understands former President Trump probably better than most, Mary Trump, his niece. She's also the author of the upcoming book, The Reckoning, Our Nation's Trauma and Finding a Way to Heal. Mary, thanks so much for coming on the show this evening. I always wonder, Trump is a con man. He is a grifter. We can agree on that. But how much has he himself been conned by those around him, the pillow guys, the online furniture guys, the dodgy lawyers and the rest? How much does he believe he won the election because people have convinced him to believe in these mad conspiracies? And how much of it is just a grift, a means to an end?
It's both, as it always is with Donald. I think that he doesn't need anybody to convince him that he won. He needed to convince himself because he got so badly beaten. He was so humiliated that could not stand. The problem is, as egregious as people like Mike Lindell are, as horrible as it is that because of Donald we have to be subjected to these people, the real problem and the real responsibility lies with the Republican Party and Republican leadership. They could have turned this off at any point from the election to through January 6th. And the problem is they let it go. They let him perpetuate the big lie. He got more and more people in his corner supporting him. And then the insurrection happened.
Yes, indeed. Republican enablers is part and parcel of Donald Trump's story, his rise, his persistence. I'm glad you're mentioning that. There have been reports that your uncle was sincerely telling people he would be reinstated this month. Now, even Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, who believes the election was illegitimate, who believes Trump won, who also made famous remarks about Jewish space lasers, even she says that's a bridge too far. Have a listen.
It's going to be very difficult to overturn the 2020 election. And so I hate for anyone to get their hopes up thinking that President Trump is going to be back in the White House in August, because that's not true. And I'm telling you, as a member of Congress, that's a very difficult thing to make happen.
What does it say when Trump, Lindell and the rest of that motley crew have even lost Marjorie Taylor Greene?
I honestly didn't think I could be shocked, but I am, that she was willing to draw that line. I guess, listen, it's true. She's right in this particular instance. So how can you keep moving the goalposts before people get suspicious? You know, this is what cults do. So I'm guessing that she decided this was one controversy that was not worth her getting wrapped up in.
Indeed. In a new piece for the New Republic headline, Donald's Plot Against America, you write that in addition to the big lie that he won the election he in fact lost, Donald, quote, and his GOP enablers are peddling the second big lie, that January the 6th was just legitimate protest. Talk about that second big lie and how dangerous it is.
Well, this one is exceedingly dangerous, much more dangerous in some ways than the original big lie, because it is stoking people's grievance in a way that is preparing them to take back the government, you know, as if it has been stolen from them. And the fact that January 6th nobody's been punished for it. We have seditionists currently serving in our government whose goal it is to undermine democracy. Donald is being allowed to stay relevant. He's being allowed to accrue power. And because of that, we're looking at a situation in which it's very possible the Republicans are going to use those accusations of fraud, those grievances that are really stirring up the base and spreading, by the way, to enact these voter suppression laws that may convince Donald that he can run because he won't lose. And that's terrifying.
Yes. And you say that in the New Republic piece. You say initially you thought Donald wouldn't run. He would never put himself in that position again. Now I'm not so sure. You also said there's no coming back from another Trump presidency. And I just wonder, it's worse than that in many ways, because even if he's not re-elected as president, even if he doesn't run again, even if he were to disappear tomorrow, Trumpism is here to stay, isn't it? It's ingrained in the Republican Party, as you talked about it. It's ingrained in movement conservatism. They've got a taste for it, and they love it.
Minnie, you're exactly right. And honestly, 2022 is just as important as 2024. If the Democrats lose the House and or the Senate, we may be in a position that we can't come back from that either. All investigations will stop, all legislation will stop, and we're all going to suffer for it. And I don't know that there would ever be a free and fair election again that a Democrat could win, because the system at that point would be so rigged against democracy, which is exactly what the Republican Party wants, because they know Trumpism doesn't scale. He lost the House, he lost the Senate, he lost the White House. However, they don't need it to scale. They just need to keep people angry enough that they're not going to be paying attention, or they won't care when the rule book is burned to a crisp.
Yes, indeed. And meanwhile, Democrats still want to work with that rule book. It's a terrifying situation. Mary Trump, thank you so much for your time tonight. Appreciate it.
Thank you.